Hi, Steve Arterburn here, and this is our 5th session on narcissistic personality disorder. You know, the big question is, can this person heal? Will they heal? Will they get better? Or is this the fate that we all have, is to live with these people? Well, there is hope and there is healing. Now, first of all, there's a cluster of personality disorders. It's called Cluster B, and this one is in the midst of those listed like antisocial personality disorder. They don't have any empathy or don't care about others. All they care about is what they can get for themselves. And so a lot of criminal activity, one scheme to the next. Histrionic person uses sexuality and allure to kind of get into somebody's life and be somebody to something. Very sick disorder. The borderline personality disorder also often uses their sexuality to manipulate others. But in borderline, it's really you could say they're crossing the border from all good to all bad, and they view people from all good to all bad, and you never know what you're going to have coming home to you if you live with someone with borderline. And then you've got narcissism, or the narcissist. And if anybody's going to get better from any of these, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to surrender. And there are two types of surrender that the narcissist could have, and it's the same kind of surrender that an alcoholic must have. One is, I have an emotional, a spiritual experience. Like in a church, I walk down the aisle, I'm in tears, and everything changes. Because not only do I have that experience, but I follow it up with support and healing of the emotion and feelings, relationships, all that, and it gets better. But the other one is this: I don't know if I really want to surrender, but I want my life to be better, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to comply. I'm just going to do what other people have done. I'm going to do what people tell me to do. Even if I don't believe in it fully, I'm going to comply with it and see what happens. Now, when people do that, they get to experience some great change and growth. When you go to Colossians 3:12-14, it says this: since God chose you to be the holy people He loves, you must clothe yourselves with tender-hearted mercy. Narcissists, very hard for them to develop that. Kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must also forgive others. And above all, clothe yourself with love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony. Now, there's a lot there, but the main thing is that we come down to this place of love. What do we want to do for the narcissist? We want to love them. But what we really want is we want them to get to a place where they can authentically love somebody else, especially us. Dr. Craig Malkin, one of the great researchers that we quote in the book, Understanding and Loving a Person with Personality Disorder, Narcissism, he says that yes, it is possible for them to get better. It's possible for them to change. And what they're focused on is integrating painful aspects of the self and being able to live with. Because the narcissist is compensating for all that, those wounds and pain, but they're not really integrating that into who they are today so they can resolve it. Now, the hope is that either they're going to have a spiritual experience, God's going to do an intervention with them, or we're going to have an intervention, or natural consequences are going to cause them to seek help because they're either in legal or relational trouble and they know they need help. What are we trying to do here? We want them to learn empathy. We want them to recognize some of those negative thinking patterns that they have. We want them to see how they distort reality. And we want them to understand that everybody around them, they're distinct, unique, and separate people with their own desires and goals and feelings. And we want them to start setting boundaries for themselves so that certain behaviors, thoughts don't overtake them. The ultimate goal is to have a genuine, authentic, intimate, enjoyable, rewarding relationship. That's the narcissist's goal, and it's our goal for them too. So, if they're going to get better, they got to surrender. That means they surrender to the need to be in groups. They may need medication. I know they need to look at some stress reduction. But I really hope and pray that there is a spiritual renewal, a revival of the heart that can only come with the Holy Spirit and God's intervention. I pray for you dealing with a narcissist. If you are a narcissist, I pray that something might have cracked the concrete, the wall, the barrier that you put up to protect yourself. But in that protection, you've lost the reality of life, and many times even your relationship with God or feeling the presence of God. Again, the resource is Understanding and Loving a Person with Narcissistic Personality Disorder. This one will take you to the next level. I think it'll help. You can get it at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, which is also a place where you can get help.